I had an interaction myself in real life with a gentleman recently that really opened my eyes to this phenomenon that I just kind of came to realize. The interaction itself was actually really positive, and in it wasn't so much the contents of the conversation, but the quality of the interaction, where he would, he would talk, he would say whatever it was that he was saying, he would then kind of do that, just kind of pause for a little bit and then really think about what he was about to say and then say it. And I think equally important, maybe even more important, he afforded me the grace, the luxury, and I hate the fact that I'm even using that word luxury because I don't feel like I should have to, right? But he afforded me the luxury of me being able to do the same. And I think because he modeled that behavior for me, I felt like, oh, okay, well, if he's kind of taking those pauses to really think about what he's about to say, then I feel like I could probably do that too. So of course that like increased the quality of what I said earlier, the quality of our interaction there, and I felt like I was able to just kind of relax a little bit and fall into my natural default, my natural inclination to have more depthful and meaningful interactions. And if you've been a fan of this channel, then you know that the tagline that I typically say at the end of my videos is create something meaningful. And this does have a tie in to creativity as well, which I'll get into. But it just made me realize, like, wow, I haven't had an interaction like this, quite honestly, in years. Probably since, I think I really started to notice it since the pandemic, which is, of course, when TikTok really started to gain traction in society. It's been happening before that too, but yeah, I think it's like, I don't know about you, but I feel like particularly when I meet somebody new and I'm in the midst of saying something and I feel like I'm about to go into something meaningful and depthful, and it does take me a little bit of time to kind of like settle into it. I can see this shift in their energy. I can see this change in their eyes, their facial expression, where I'm like, oh, they're getting bored of me. And I start to feel this like kind of social anxiety where I'm like, oh, I need to like move to the left, move to the right. I need to like become more entertaining, and I need to work on my conversational fluency. And what that interaction with this gentleman that I mentioned at the very beginning of this video made me realize was, you know what? Maybe I don't. Maybe I'm not the one that's boring. Maybe it's all of society that's kind of being insane. It's not my fault. It's their fault. Not that I want to be pointing fingers or anything like that, but if you're watching this video and you've gotten to this point, then you're probably someone who is resonating with what I'm saying right now. And I guess what I want to say is, as a kind of public service announcement, that it's okay, obviously, to take pauses and have depthful, slower, meaningful interactions. You're not boring. I'm not boring. And it's totally worth it to hold out for those quality people in our lives, because that's what makes life worth it. That's what makes life meaningful. That's what makes life beautiful, you know? And I'm really, really thankful. And today is Thanksgiving. But yeah, I'm really thankful to be able to have had that interaction, because it's gotten me to really think about that. And what this has to do with creativity, what I came to realize is that, wow, so I'm in the midst of getting my coaching certification in peak performance neuroscience right now. And one of the things that I'm learning in my program is the importance of lowering your dopamine baseline. And what that means is, the more that you seek out these kind of quick hit interactions where everything is just like in your face and it's highly stimulating and everything changing every 0.231 milliseconds, the more that you're going to want to seek that out, and the more that you need that kind of thing to fill your dopamine addiction, basically. And that all is taxing on your brain, you know? So by the time that you're done with this TikTok session, you're not going to have a whole lot of mental energy left over to, you know, grab a book and read it, or as a creative, more importantly, open up your notebook and, you know, strategize on whatever it is that you're working on in terms of your big creative magnum opus, whether it's a symphony that you're composing or it's like a big video project, a film project that you're working on. You need to sit down for 3 hours and enter into flow state and really jam out on that session. It's really important to have a lowered dopamine baseline. So I wanted to share that with you as well, right? So what can you do to do that? Well, spend less time doing this and more time in places like this. You know, spending time in nature is a great way to lower your dopamine baseline. I am intentionally not going to be editing this video. I'm doing this all in a single take so that I can share this with you and you can partake of, you know, being in this beautiful scene with me here, at least virtually. And yeah, I hope that you're able to take that into your next creative project and, like I always say, create something meaningful.